Welcome back to the Caymanas Park Highlight Show. In this half, we'll recap select races from Sunday, April 14. Let's begin with race 2. This was a restricted allowance event for native-bred 5-year-olds. Non-winners of 2. Maiden importees 5 years old and up. A small field of 6 was set to go postward, with Errol Sabrati's Ahmad Ali reflecting a lot of stable confidence in the betting.
They're off and racing. Not a bad line. A shorty, though, is left at the back of the field as they head towards the 6 furlong point. A wall of horses on the outside. Cotterwood Catty right there, too. That is Empress Nakila right against the rail. Blue Sky followed on the outside of Blue Sky. That's Who Done It. Closely monitored in 5th by Ahmad Ali and racing at the back of the field. That is a shorty. They passed the 5 and Empress Nakila and Cotterwood Cathy. They mix it up front. Just about 2 lengths in front of Blue Sky. Ahmad Ali going down into 4th. Then comes Who Done It and racing at the back of the field. That's a shorty. They leave the 4 and head towards the 3. And it is Cotterwood Cathy squeaking off by 2 lengths from Blue Sky sent down into 2nd. Ahmad Ali is moving dangerously on the outside of Blue Sky. Then comes Empress Nakila. Looks to be backing out. Who Done It comes next and racing at the back of the field, a shorty, but it is Cotterwood Cathy in front and looks to have something in hand. But here comes on the outside Ahmad Ali. Cotterwood Cathy finding more. Ahmad Ali trying to get to Cotterwood Cathy. Cotterwood Cathy sprinting off by 3 lengths. Ahmad Ali needs to find some answers fast. Coming to the furlong pole, it's Cotterwood Cathy in front and beginning to stretch this lead. And Cotterwood Cathy looks to be coming away from these, and it could be the 2nd win on the card for a terrific Tevin Foster. Cotterwood Cathy makes it look easy in the 2nd by maybe about 7 lengths. Ahmad Ali's 2nd, then comes Who Done It and Empress Nakila backing 4th.
Cotterwood Cathy makes it a gate to our performance here in race number 2 in honor of Barrington Daly. And that was a fine ride by Tevin Foster. The early double goes to Tevin Foster. Double event payout there, $672. So yesterday Tevin did not have a winner. But today he starts off flying with a double and now puts himself 13 clear once again off his closest pursuer, Radish Roman.
Trainer Ryan Darby caps the 2nd event on the Sunday card with his 2-to-1 bet, Cotterwood Cathy. Jockey Tevin Foster in the saddle landed back-to-back wins after taking the 1st event on the card and further extending his lead in the Jockeys Championship race. Race 5 on the Sunday card was an optional claiming event going a distance of 7 furlongs. An 8-horse field reduced to 6 with a scratch of Farlina Forever from the 4 draw and a friend of the family from the 6 box.
7 furlongs thereof. Golden Emperor steps off slowly. Kingswood didn't get a great start either as they raced down the backstretch, and friend of the family, the Grey, now shoots out into that lead. Silent Cat racing in the middle of horses. Kingswood right there on the rail. Also making some ground, that's a Jamal James, Biblical Legend, and these in a very tight grouping. Dr. Gray's further back and racing 2nd from last, and Golden Emperor trails the field. Down the back stretch they go. They make their way now toward the half mile, and we still have several runners in with a chance up front. Jamal James, Biblical Legend now scoots through, and Biblical Legend leaves the half mile with that lead from Jamal James, a length and a half back. Kingswood has to find more runs. Silent Cat right alongside. Friend of the family races next. A break back to a Dr. Gray, and the Golden Emperor looking hopeless as they now leave the 3. Biblical Legend on the rail, harassed all the while by Jamal James, now moving up to challenge at the 5:16. 5:06 back to Kingswood and Silent Cat. These are the main contenders as they've turned for home, and Jamal James now injects pace into the race and grabs that lead. Biblical Legend is battling down against the rail. Further back to the grey, Kingswood in the red cap, and Silent Cat left out of it, but Jamal James looks to have the lead down against the rail. Biblical Legend was switched to the outside. They leave the furlong pole. It's a Jamal James over against the fence. Biblical Legend trying to get in touch with the leader, but the leader, Jamal James, and no more Walker, they are going gone. Jamal James will take the 5th, easily in the end by maybe 6. Biblical Legend 2nd. Kingswood is 3rd. Silent Cat is 4th.
No problems there for the top choice. Jamal James winning like a 4-year-old. I'm telling you, Jamal James, the turnaround horse. He's 9 years old, and that's his 11th win. Make that his 13th win from 42 career starts. So he's doing quite well now. 6-time champion to go Walker Road there for trainer Errol Anthony Lickosubsabrati. Jamal James wins like a top choice should, and he won at 9 to 5.
A spirited run by the number 3 horse Jamal James, a 9-year-old chestnut gelding, trained and owned by Errol Sabrati, bred by Fitzroy Gillespie, with 6-time champion jockey Omar Walker in the saddle, taking him home for the connections. Race 8, a maiden condition event for native bred fillies 3 years old and up. A field of 10 declared to face a starter over the 5.5 furlongs course. Himaya from the Jason Acosta born was the 3-1 favorite, with Panamanian jockey Jose Osorio in the saddle.
They're off and racing, not a bad line as Valley of Love rearing a bit and is left at the back of the field. Another Mission is right on the inside. Naishino is right there too, showing speed. And on the outside, that's Princess Fiani. So Naishino and Princess Fiani mixing it up as they go past the 4. Heading right there too and coming around that Hit and Run as they head toward the 3 furlong point, and it is making the runnings. Princess Fiani right there too, Hit and Run coming up beside Princess Fiani. Then comes another Mission right there on the rail. Roman Princess is there too, and Himaya, they're at the top of the lane, and it is a war up front between Hit and Run and Princess Fiani. Hit and Run, just the leader from Princess Fiani coming down the middle. That's Roman Princess, and Hit and Run now claims the rail with that lead. Princess Fiani will try to fight back. It's Hit and Run and Abigail Abel having them off their legs. Princess Fiani trying to get to Hit and Run, but Hit and Run is fleet of foot and begins to pull away. Lady Abigail Abel and Hit and Run scores by about 6. Princess Fiani second, Roman Princess is third. Then comes another Mission and Imaya back in 5th.
Hit and Run did what was expected on debut at 2-5. Won today at 8-5. Abigail Abel riding for Jason Acosta and Elizabeth Acosta. Nice win by Hit and Run.
Female jockey Abigail Abel gave the boys a hit and run ride aboard the 8-5 in the betting Hit and Run. A well-bred 3-year-old filly from the Jason Acosta camp. They covered the distance in 1 minute 10 and 2/5 of a second. The penultimate on the Sunday card was the big one, the 31st running of the Prince Consort Stakes, a graded stakes event for native bred colts and geldings 3 years old and up. A seasonal debut for last year's champion 2-year-old Interesting Times Ahead, who will be going up against the much fancied Allegiance, winner of the most recent run, Sir Howard Stakes.
They're off for the 31st running of the Prince Consort Stakes. Captain Sparrow, Crown Chaser, they came off a beat slow as they charged down the backstretch toward the 6. Unruly Dawn shows on that lead on the outside narrowly. Teflon Don right alongside. These two match strides down the backstretch. They're followed closely by Jay Spieth in the green. Allegiance races up next toward the outside. That's Midnight Galaxy the grey as they come flashing past the 5. Matuso races further back. Crowd Chaser has made some improvement after the slow start. Interesting Times Ahead has a lot of ground to make up and begins to do so now after being asked by the rider, and Captain Sparrow left at the back. They're coming up now toward the final 7/16th, and Teflon Don has now snatched that lead. Jay Spieth in pursuit. Unruly Don backing out into third. There goes Midnight Galaxy now shaken up for run and beginning to make some eye-catching progress. Allegiance is there. Interesting Times Ahead also picking up on the outside, but the field will turn for home with Teflon Don just on the outside. Jay Spieth now kicking it against the rail, and Jay Spieth points the head in front. Teflon Don will try to fight back. Interesting Times Ahead now wound up and beginning to close. It is Jay Spieth out in front, arriving at the furlong pole. Here is Interesting Times Ahead now switched down against the rail. Jay Spieth holding on. Interesting Times Ahead trying to close up. Devin Foster looking for a 4-timer, and Interesting Times Ahead will give it to him in the 31st running of the Prince Consort Stakes. Close. Crown Chaser maybe second over Jay Spieth. Captain Sparrow possibly fourth over on the rail Matuso.
Champion 2-year-old of 2023, Interesting Times Ahead, makes a victorious seasonal debut and wins the Prince Consort Stakes. Quite convincing too. Bumped at the start, had a few lengths to find, passing a half mile, and got rolling in a big way from the top of the lane and rolled by Jay Spieth and company. Crown Chaser ran on to be a strong second there, so that exactly was telling you about. Devin Foster, Radish Roman, that's the way it came back. 5, 1, 2, and 4. And I actually gave it the numbers here, 5, 1, 2, and 3. Told him my high 5 horse was Captain Sparrow. sure wish that Matuso could have held on for fourth, but Captain Sparrow finished well enough to get the fourth spot.
A statement run by the 2-5 favorite, Interesting Times Ahead, getting a bad break but recovering second from last to put on a matching performance, with the jockey Tevin Foster digging deep in the final 2 furlongs to get a well-deserved win in the day's feature event. The 10th and final on the Sunday card was an overnight allowance event run in honor of the late trainer Wayne DaCosta. This was a 5 furlong straight event for native bred 3-year-olds and up. A 15-horse field declared to start, with trainer Philip Fieni, OD, saddling 4 of those 15 entries.
We have a line ready for a start. They're off and racing right away. God of Love gets a flyer near the stand side. It's God of Love. KP Choice is also in that mix. Right in the middle, that's Volatility, tacking right across and is now in dead center of the track. Eagle One is also there. Over on the far side, Money Monster running a big one early as they make their way out of the chute. Volatility, KP Choice, and God of Love. This is where the race slide. Could be God of Love just narrow the lead from KP Choice and Volatility. Taurus Boy is on the defense and also coming into the mix as they make their way coming to the furlong and a half pole, and it is Volatility, KP Choice, God of Love, and Taurus Boy. This is where the race slide. Taurus Boy begins to really find late footing, and now it is still making the running. KP Choice, Taurus Boy. It's KP Choice and Taurus Boy. This is where the race will be decided, and Taurus Boy now gets the upper hand from KP Choice, and Taurus Boy beats KP Choice. Got tight for third between Volatility and Money Monster. Back in fifth, that's Rejected Roger.
The Tevin Foster Show continues on the day's final event. Another win for the current leading rider in the Jockey Championship standings, landing 5 wins on the Sunday card from his 9 mounts. As a recap, another thrilling weekend of racing. It was highlighted by jockey Tevin Foster landing 5 wins on the Sunday card, and in the mix was that late recovery run in the race 9 feature event aboard last year's champion 2-year-old Interesting Times Ahead, who was making his long-awaited seasonal debut. This has been another edition of the Caymanas Park Highlight Show. We'll see you next time. Hello and welcome to the Caymanas Park Highlight Show. In this week's edition, we recap the race card from Saturday, April 13 and Sunday, April 14. 19 races were on offer over the 2-day race carnival, honoring breeders and owners. Saturday's feature event was the 31st running of the Thornbird Stakes, while Sunday saw the 31st running of the Prince Consort Stakes. Let's begin with race 1 from Saturday. This was ran in honor of trainer Richard Azan, a maiden condition race for native bred 3-year-olds and up, going a distance of 7 furlongs or 1,400 meters. A 10-horse field set to go postward, with Jason Acosta conditioned Rosetta, the even money favorite in the betting.
They're off for the first of 9. Fair start. King Pie just a bit tardy at it. Rosetta racing down on the outside. Francis is moving in between horses as they make their way down the backstretch and head toward the 6th. They're just about to arrive at the 6 furlong point, and Francis has that lead from Indestructible and the Soul Warrior. Papidon has made good progress right there on the rail. Rosetta moving through horses toward the outside. That's Bold Shadow. These in a very tight grouping. Papidon may have hit a speed bump as they leave the 5 and fades back through the field. Joined on the outside by Brenda Boy, now asked to go by the rider. King Pie races several lengths off that lead. Design Diva follows up. And at the back of the field of the Blue Silks, that's Soda Black as they've left the half mile and a kick away now passing the 7:16. Still a battle up front. Francis continues to hold a narrow lead. Bold Shadow now attacking on the outside. Indestructible racing in their slipstream. Drafting in behind them, that's the favourite. Rosetta now asked to go as they arrive at the 5:16th, and Francis now tries to slip away from them. Bold Shadow continues the chase. Rosetta will cover to the lane out 3 wide, but it is Francis continuing to chart the course. They race past the quarter pole and make their way now toward the final 3:16th, and Francis begins to open the gap. Rosetta is racing down on the outside. King Pie has nothing at the moment, but Francis maintains that lead without furlong to run. Can they catch Francis? The favourite Rosetta now lengthening stride, but Francis continues to prove slippery as an eel inside the final 16. It's Francis out in front. They're not going to stop Francis, and Ryan Lewis, action-packed Ryan Lewis, wins by maybe 4 or 5 over Rosetta. Then King Pie, Indestructible, and Brenda Boy.
A mild upset victory for Francis in race number 1, and quite fitting that Francis wins it for her trainer, Hall of Fame trainer Richard Azan, which the event in and of itself was being run in order of. So very bright start for the day for Richard Azan. And how about that couple in the enclosure, Richard Azan and Monique Azan? Nice troops there when the presentation was being made. So a great day for the Azan so far.
Hall of Fame trainer Richard Azan takes the day's first with his 3-year-old bay filly Francis. The 2023 champion jockey Ryan Lewis in the saddle, taking the lead from the half mile and finishing 4 lengths in front of the favorite Rosetta. Race 5 on the Saturday card was a Thoroughbred Owners and Breeders Association of Jamaica Trophy, an overnight allowance event for 3-year-olds and up. A competitive 7-horse field with Hall of Famer trainer Richard Azan saddling the well-fancied Rainsville.
Storm is in, they're off. Fair start. Positive ID, though, left behind horses. Sunset Silhouette gets a good start, so too Bridal Blush, and Bridal Blush will take them along toward the mile and the clubhouse turn. Bridal Blush off the rail, racing with that lead. Sunny T and Chippy nearest to it. Rainsville the Grey edging closer. Storm now beginning to pick up and making gains on the leader. All for Love races further back. Sunset Silhouette in behind, and Positive ID is at the back and struggling as they go toward the back stretch. Bridal Blush out in front. Storm continues the chase from second as they run toward the final 6. Sunny T and Chippy settle down in third. Rainsville cruising in fourth. All for Love is running in fifth as they go passing the 6th. Sunset Silhouette is next, and Forget Positive ID with Mount Everest to climb. They make their way toward the final 5. Bridal Blush attempting to go all the way. Storm sitting in the dicky seat in second, a length and a half back. Sunny T and Chippy now begins to roll. All for Love in the white races back in fourth, 5.5 off that lead. Rainsville now gets going with Sunset Silhouette, and Positive ID continues to race last. They've left the half mile. The tempo now should increase as they're approaching the final 7:16. Bridal Blush trying to slip away. Leads up by some 2 lengths. Sunny T and Chippy now goes a-hunting. All for Love close enough if good enough. So too Sunset Silhouette. Rainsville has 6 or 7 lengths to find. A break back to Storm, and Positive ID now making some positive ground. Maybe too late as they leave the 5:16th and will come into the top of the lane. Bridal Blush has to be caught. They're at the 2. Sunny T and Chippy has done the job and now grabs that lead. Watch All for Love on the outside in the all-white. Sunset Silhouette and Abigail Abel now asked to roll down against the rail. It's Sunny T and Chippy out in front. Sunset Silhouette now nibbling at the lead and getting closer with every stride. They flash past the furlong pole. It's Sunny T and Chippy being driven to the max by Radish Roman, beginning to open their length. Being chased all the while by Sunset Silhouette, who won't stop Sunny T and Chippy from winning the Thoroughbred Owners and Breeders Association of Jamaica Trophy. It's tight in behind between Positive ID and All for Love.
Sunny T and Chippy gets a win in the Thoroughbred Owners and the Breeders Association of Jamaica Trophy, and that's Radish Roman back in the winner's enclosure, and he is coming off a little break, and he has now re-entered the winner's enclosure. 5-1, good price there for Sunny T and Chippy. Preview time, he was at 7-1, and I told you that's a generous price for Sunny T and Chippy, and I see that you got in on the action and brought that one down to 5-1.
The 2023 Most Improved Jockey Radish Roman takes the Breeders and Owners Association Trophy aboard the trainer Spencer Chung's 5-1 bet, Sunny T and Chippy. Second was Sunset Silhouette, All for Love in third, and the Positive ID in fourth position. Race 7 was the Lady Gaita Trophy, a graded stakes open allowance event for 3-year-olds and up. A talented field of 6 with Mahogany making her seasonal debut. And what better competition to do so but against the most feared importee on the island, Desert of Malibu.
They're off for the Lady Gaita. They all came out as one. There's a battle up front for that lead. A Gift from Ben is racing on the rail. Mahogany now moving up. Desert of Malibu right there. These three in a very tight clump as they run past the 5 and the gap back to the slow Big Daddy. They're on their way toward the half mile in the Lady Gaita, and the war up front continues. Mahogany now tested by Desert of Malibu and neck down. A Gift from Ben is racing just 2 lengths in behind them in third, and forget Big Daddy needing a tow truck at the moment as they're about to arrive at the final 3. Desert of Malibu testing Mahogany. These two going at it, they're bobbing heads. A Gift from Ben is there, and Big Daddy remains at the back as they've left the 5/16th. They're going to come into the lane. Desert of Malibu on the outside points. Mahogany continues the battle down against the rail. These two now bobbing heads for it. A Gift from Ben is stepping out wide, and Big Daddy has a mountain to climb, but up front it's a match race at the moment. Desert of Malibu now looks to stick the flare of a nostril in front. Mahogany continues to battle as they drive now toward the final 16th. It's a Desert of Malibu in a battle with Mahogany, and now Desert of Malibu gains the upper hand and begins to come away in the Lady Gaita. She's sprinting off to win it easily in the end by maybe 4. Close between A Gift from Ben and Mahogany. Big Daddy making late progress, but still fourth.
That's one of the most unforeseeable outcomes of an event as you could ever imagine. You're down to a field of 4 after the very scratch of New Star and Yellowstone. And there's, of course, after New Star reared up in the start gate just a split second before they were sent on their way. And thereafter, you saw a speed duel ensuing there with Mahogany going up against Desert of Malibu. And inside the final half of furlong, Desert of Malibu took the ground of Mahogany. And in turn, Mahogany finishes in third after A Gift from Ben runs on to snatch second. Now, there's been a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz around the track. Let me just reiterate the racing rules, which states that if a horse is cost a higher placing as a result of interference, there has to be a disqualification. If Mahogany had finished second, chances are the placings could have been allowed. But the racing rule says once a horse is caused a higher placing as a result of interference, there has to be a disqualification. So therein lies the rule, and a very important rule too. So that's the second disqualification of Desert of Malibu after having 7 victories out of 9 starts. Make that 8 victories out of 9 starts. So she has now been disqualified twice.
Another unfortunate disqualification for first past the post Desert of Malibu, who was placed in third position after causing interference to second past the post Mahogany. Adjudged first after the new places was third past the post, A Gift from Ben. Race number 8 was in honor of breeder Carl Samuda. This was a restricted allowance event going a distance of 6 furlongs or 1,200 meters. A field of 13 declared to go postward, with the importee Bulletproof Coffee sent off as the 8-5 favorite.
They're off and racing. Wayne's Princess steps a bit slow and is left at the back of the field as City Hawk from pole position 1 takes them passing the 6 furlong. It's City Hawk in front, heading to the 5 with that lead. Bulletproof Coffee tracking in second. Then comes Cappuccino. Ertugal comes next. Then comes Natural Dancer coming on the outside. That is a Fly Blue Jet right against the rail. Kai on the go as they head past the 4. Then comes From Sheer to Ben. Burning Valor comes next. Recovering that Digital Light hooking reverse and racing at the back of the field. That is Lady Ramdalari, and at the back of the field that's Wayne's Princess. They're going to come into the lane shortly, and it is still making the runnings. Hot Stepper with that lead. City Hawk rather with that lead right there too, and coming on that is Natural Dancer. It's City Hawk showing them a clean Pero heel coming to the furlong pole. It is City Hawk still in front, about 3-4 lengths in front of Kai on the go coming forward on the rail. It's City Hawk in front and beginning to pull away from these, and City Hawk was never in danger from the off. It's City Hawk in front and beginning to pull away. City Hawk by about 4 lengths. Kai on the Go is second. Ertugrul is third. Then comes Bulletproof Coffee, got tied for fifth between from Sheer to Ben and Natural Dancer.
The Katsabuda goes to City Hawk. Horse number 1 at 9-1. A gate to our performance by City Hawk. Well ridden by Radish Roman. He rides very well from in front. And he bounced back right away after the disqualification of Desert of Malibu and gets his official second win on the card. Would have been a triple had Desert of Malibu not been disqualified. So City Hawk at 9-1 makes it a gate to wire performance.
A gate to wire performance from the 9-1 bet City Hawk. Radish Roman in the saddle for trainer Ricardo Brown and the owner and breeder Leroy Williams. Running on in second was Kai on the Go, Ertugrul third, and the favorite Bulletproof Coffee in fourth. The race 9 feature event was the 31st running of the Thornbird Stakes, a grade 2 event for native bred fillies 3 years old and up. A highly competitive 15-horse field set to go 7 furlongs. 6-time champion jockey Omar Walker was aboard the anti-post favorite Run Julie Run for trainer Ian Prasad.
Field in line for the Thornbird Stakes. They're off. 7 furlongs to run. And Buttercup has hit into the rails and thrown the rider on the ground. So Buttercup out of it as they go charging down the back stretch. Midnight Flight showing on that lead from Banadura. Fast and Furious Lynx looks to be on the outside of runners as they charge away down the back stretch. Come Home to Me races up with Shiny Star for company. Miss Cherry races next. Run Julie Run asked to pick up as they leave the 5. Amma races in behind those several lengths off that lead. Lady Lauren is racing up next with Oh So Smart. Battle Angel just on the inside. Blue Sensation now making some ground. Asked to make some ground too. That's Lucy in the Sky as they've left the half-mile marker. And at the back of the field, it's a Don't Tell Lulu. They go blazing up down toward the final 3/8. And it's out in front, Banadura, who has it by some 3 lengths. Midnight Flight in pursuit. Come Home to Me is there. Fast and Furious Lynx also in the red, racing just in behind them with Miss Cherry and Shiny Star. But Banadura brings them into the top of the lane in the Thornbird. They leave the quarter pole. Here is Come Home to Me now, coming home strong down against the rail. But it's Banadura with that lead from Come Home to Me in the pink cap. Miss Cherry now asked to come with a rush. Banadura being caught now by Come Home to Me, gaining all the time as they flash past the furlong pole. It's Banadura. Come Home to Me has to be switched on the outside as Banadura took the rail. Banadura continuing to hold the lead. Come Home to Me and Run Julie Run coming fast, but Banadura wins the Thornbird over Come Home to Me. Then Run Julie Run, Shiny Star close between Blue Sensation and Lady Lauren, or Oh So Smart rather.
A hard-fought ride by jockey Robert Hardball Halliday aboard the Jason DaCosta conditioned Banadura, who also finished a length and a half in front of stablemate Come Home to Me in second. The favorite Run Julie Run had to settle for third. It's now time for a break on the Caymanas Highlight Show. On the other side, we'll recap select races on the card from Sunday, April 14th.